commendable project. If at all we have a river policy, how do we make India drought and flood free? And do you think we can do that? And what is your solution to this?
For those of you who do not know what it's about, just a few words. Rally for Rivers was largely an awareness program, and it was aimed towards changing the policy in the country. Well, I drove from Kanyakumari to Himalayas, 9,300 kilometers, driving myself. On the way I did 142 events in 29 days. 9,300 kilometers, 142 events, 184 interviews. So practically about 20 to 22 hours a day, I was driving and speaking. Some days 24 hours, through the night we were driving and speaking. The wonderful thing was, even at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, people were waiting in the villages all across the country. So what I realized was, even a very small village, people knew what is the problem. And largely they also knew what is the solution. Only thing is, they were looking for an idiot who will tie the bell, who will bell the cat. So they found me. Yes. Because they wanted somebody to bell the cat. 162 million people, never they come together for anything, all right? Never that many people have participated in anything, because everybody knew the problem, everybody knew the solution. They are looking for a fool who will bell the cat. I said, okay. But because of this support that we got the policy through, it went through the scientific and economic tests, and the Niti Aayog recommended this as the official policy for all the 29 states. So right now that is the recommended policy. It is a 760-page document that we made about how we need to manage our rivers, all aspects of it. Now, beyond that, we started a project in Vagadi River, the Yavatmal region, which unfortunately has this negative title of being the suicide capital of the nation. You've heard of Yavatmal? Maximum number of suicides happen here. But now this Kaveri Kugu or Kaveri calling, I see some of you holding it up, is a project which involves the farmer, the government and the people. The farmer, because farmer holds the maximum amount of India's land. Nearly 80% of the land is held by the farmer. So if at all, if you have to do something in this land, you need his involvement, there's simply no other way. But his condition is so bad. Right now his condition is such that his survival is in such dire situation that they're committing suicide in thousands. See, a suicide is not just a number. For a man to take his own life, he goes through an immense amount of suffering before he takes that step. Somebody is not just going to simply go and hang himself. He goes through untold suffering within himself before he takes this extreme step of taking his own life. The only reason this is happening, though people are projecting it like because of its bank loan. Yes, the bank loan may be, a push might have become a shove, but the real thing is the soil has depleted and the water is not available. This is the only reason. There is no rich soil and there is not enough water. If the soil was fertile and there is water, he knows what to do. He knows how to take food out of the land. At least for his own family he would have done that. But he is pushed to this extreme step because the soil has lost its quality. Out of 160 million hectares of land, arable land in the country, 105 million hectares are considered as distressed soil. This is the state of India, I want you to know. This is the state of India, that this land, which was one of the most fertile lands in the world, that we have a history of over 12,000 years of agriculture. All these generations of people farmed, they nourished themselves from the land, but they maintained the fertility of the land for these thousands of generations. But in the last 2 generations, in just 70 years, we have brought this land to a place where there is simply no possibility that future generations can make food out of it because there is no organic content. Why there is no organic content? The only organic content you can have is leaves from the trees and the animal waste. Trees are gone long time ago. For you to understand, 87% of Kaveri's green cover, Kaveri basin's green cover has been removed, 92% of Ganga basin's green cover has been removed, so there is no leaf. And animals are all going abroad, so no animal waste. So no leaf, no animal waste, what do? You just throw salt, fertilizer, fertilizer, fertilizer. You must try this for dinner. I don't want to spoil your dinner, but you must try it one day. See, in whatever plateful of meal that you eat, you add little salt. Suppose we give you a plateful of salt as dinner. What will happen to you? That is what is happening to the land. Because when you put so much salt, it is just… there is a certain osmosis which happens, which sucks away all the moisture from the living cells, and all the microbes are dying in large scale simply because of too much use of salts. There should be substantial organic content, otherwise water will not go down. See, for the last 100 years, the monsoon rain has not come down. We're still getting about the same amount of rain in the last 100 years. Only problem that's happened is that the rain that comes down, instead of percolating this way, it is running on the surface. When it runs on the surface, we call it a flood. You can do this in the last 2 months, wherever they have reported floods, just mark it on the map. Just wait for 4 to 5 months. The same places will be reporting drought. Because flood and drought are not 2 different problems, it is one problem. Instead of water percolating this way, it is running this way. So that place will definitely have drought after a few months. So this need to be addressed. If at all water has to go in, we need substantial vegetation. We cannot raise forests because there is no land for that. It's all agricultural land. So now we came up with this in the last 18 years. We've been converting farmers into what is called as agroforestry or tree-based agriculture. What happened with this is, within 5 to 7 years, most farmers, their income went up from 300 to 500, 300 to 800% in 5 to 7 years. You must see the experience of agro farmers. Their lives have changed completely, and the water table has come up in those regions, even if it is small holdings of 5 to 10 acres. Things have changed dramatically, simply because trees can do this to you. What has happened in the country is, 35 years ago, maybe none of the ladies are so old, 35 years ago, our monsoons used to be 100 to 140 days. Today it is happening in 40 to 75 days. Same volume of water is coming down, but in a much more concentrated way. This is the reason why you're struggling. Why this is happening is, there is not enough tree cover. This is something very fantastic happening, you can read up wherever you can. There is a phenomena called transpiration. Between the treetops and the cloud, there is a communication. Some people have gone to the extent of saying that it is almost like the trees are ordering how much rain they want per day. Accordingly, it's happening. It is almost like that. Where there is substantial amount of trees, rain comes in the way it should come, as it is necessary for them. But where there are no trees, a cloud burst is happening. Cloud bursts always happened in high altitudes where there was no tree cover at all, or in deserts. But today it is happening in southern India. Cloud bursts are happening because we have largely turned it into a desert. If you don't understand what I'm saying, when you fly from Mysore to Mumbai or Delhi or wherever else, if you fly from south to north, every 2 minutes please look out of the window, all you see is a brown desert, except for the Western Ghats. Rest of the country looks like a brown desert because that's what we've made out of it. Why have we done this? Simply because there are laws like this, that a farmer grows a tree in his own land. If he cuts it for his use, he gets arrested. Right now, this Kaveri calling, We have got assurance from the government, central government, Environment Ministry, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu governments, 100% they've promised us they will remove these laws. A farmer can grow and cut the trees as he wants. Not only this, I am pushing for a law. A farmer can grow whatever he wants, fell it, transport it, sell it where he wants, how he wants. As any industry can do, a farmer should have the same right. These laws were brought during the British era, we are still keeping the same laws. A farmer cannot even a paddy farmer cannot transport his paddy across the state border. Do you know this? But if you manufacture a safety pin, you can go and sell it in North Pole if you want. Yes or no? Only the farmer doesn't have this right. 300,000 farmers have committed suicide in 20 years. 300,000 means we've had 4 wars in the 70 years, unfortunately. In these 4 wars, this many people did not die on both the sides. That is the number of people. In Kaveri Basin alone, in the last 12 to 15 years, 47,000 people have committed suicide. So what more disaster are we waiting for? Right now, this Kaveri calling is this: we have convinced the farmer because it's super lucrative for him, he will go for it. And we wanted a subsidy for first 4 years to shift over from regular farming to this. We have convinced the governments, they've agreed to this, and we have convinced the government these laws of tree felling must go. In private land, we can grow what we want and cut what we want, it's nobody's business. Protecting the forest is the business of the government. Their logic usually has been that if you allow this cutting in your land, somebody will go and cut in the forest. Protecting the forest is government's business. Because you don't know how to protect your property, you're messing with my property. What is this? Thousands of people are committing suicide. In this culture, particularly in this, old Mysore state, if a girl child is born, they planted 3 trees. If a boy is born, they planted 5 trees. You may ask, oh, what is this gender inequality? No, this is a consideration for the ladies. Because they saw if a girl is born, before marriage they have to buy her some clothes, jewelry, something, 1 tree. This will do it. When actual wedding comes, 1 more tree takes care of it. First child, 1 more tree takes care of it, and their business is over. After that, she lives her life. A boy is not like that, it's a lifelong trouble. So you need 5 trees. He keeps coming back and coming back, there's no one-time expense on him. He keeps coming back. So traditionally they decided 5 trees for the boy. So today, if you have a tree and for your girl's wedding you cut the tree, you will not be attending the wedding because you will be in the police station. We want to change this. Now the governments have agreed to change this, so this is going to happen. Now the only piece that we have to fulfill is, we need to raise 242 crore saplings. So this is costing approximately 42 rupees because we are training about 5 to 10,000 farmers to raise saplings. When they raise saplings, we must be able to buy it back and put it into agroforestry. So for this, we want to be empowered with this. So a board has been set up of eminent people to run this fund. So this fund is being collected right now, please do whatever you can.